Hello everyone, welcome to a quick update. So a couple months ago I posted a video called Windows 8 My Opinion. There should be a link floating above. It's linked to that video, and that was my uneducated opinion of Windows 8. I had never used Windows 8. I had only watched videos on YouTube of people using the developer preview. Windows 8 had not yet been released, I don't think, and if it had been, I hadn't seen any videos of the released version as of then. However, now, I have had Windows 8 since December 25th, 2012. Yes, Christmas Day. It was a Christmas present. I installed it on my computer. I actually recorded me installing it, but did not post that video simply because I didn't really like the camera angles, and personally I just thought it wasn't going to be of much use. You guys didn't need to know watch me install it. You guys just need to know I installed it, and it was a very boring video. I only post videos I would watch. Now, as you can see, we're on the desktop right now, and this is a very simple desktop. It looks a lot like the one in Windows 7. A little bit like Windows XP and Windows Vista, except bigger taskbar, and it does have, it's basically Windows 7 without all the bevels and lighting, 3D appearance. And I really like it. It's all transparent, and it's not necessarily the most customizable thing ever, but we'll get into that later. Right now I want to go to the home screen, which, by the way, I'm going to show you 3 ways you can go there. First way. This is the way you typically do it on a tablet without pressing the home button that is in the middle on it, but my computer does not technically have one of those. It sort of does, and I'll explain that in a second. But right now, hover over the top left corner or bottom right corner of your screen, and since I have dual monitors, you do that per monitor and it'll come up on that monitor. I can speak for that. I'm not recording the second monitor right now though. You move up or down corresponding to which corner you were on, and this charms bar will come up. Now it has search, it has share. I've actually yet to use the share button. Maybe I should sometime. It has the start button, which is the button I was looking for, devices and settings. We'll be going into all of these as we continue through this video. Now the start button, quick, easy way to get to the start screen. You can still pull the charms bar up from here at the start screen. Another way, for desktop only, you can move your mouse into the bottom left corner, and that's basically, typically with Windows, that's where the start button is. There is no start button down here on your taskbar that takes you to the start, or opens up the start menu. There is no start button. You go to the bottom left corner, it's there. Now I know neither of these are necessarily intuitive, and neither is the third way, which I'm going to tell you. I do recommend, if you're going to get Windows 8, watch videos on YouTube before you get it, because you might not be able to get to YouTube once you are using it. So that's a problem. You might not understand it. The tutorial when you're installing Windows 8 is absolutely horrendous. It just tells you, hey, welcome to the new interface, try dragging your mouse into different corners. It's like, okay, well, what do I do when I get to those corners? And it doesn't really tell you. I'm sorry, but Windows, Microsoft, you messed up with that tutorial. You should have done much more. This is a brand new interface. I would have never figured it out without going and watching hate videos. All I watched were videos of people hating on it. I never watched a tutorial necessarily. And this isn't a tutorial. It's more of a review and kind of showing you some things. But, a little bit of a tutorial, I guess, but it's not meant to be one. Now, back to the third way is on your keyboard you have the Windows logo button. With newer laptops it will look like the Windows 8 logo. Older ones it's the Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows Vista. That logo, Microsoft's logo really, and that'll take you here just like it used to in all the others. And that will bring up your start menu, which is very nice. I love how it comes up and everything kind of folds, or like, I guess the word would be folds all of it in. Waves in. It's a wave of energy. I really can't describe it. You guys are just gonna have to try it for yourselves. Now, the start screen is definitely optimized for touch screen. neither my secondary monitor nor my primary laptop's monitor are touchscreen. However, unlike many other people who say it's very confusing to use without a touchscreen, okay, the corners are confusing, but I get around just fine without a touchscreen. A mouse can click just as well as your finger can touch the screen. So you have all your tiles. These can be live tiles, which I've shut off, or they can even show some of your personal information, which for YouTube that doesn't really suit me. But you can have your emails and it'll pop up and slide through them. It'll slide through them and say, hey, here, John messaged you and he said, hey, you want to hang out later or something. I'll get to this using some of these apps in a minute, but I just want to show you guys, if you right click on these, it's very quick and it folds great. If you want to move these, you just click and hold and move them. It's different on the tablet interface. Tablet interface is different. You can zoom out and then you can right click and you can name an entire group. I'm gonna name you can name it, say, pre-installed, which is what I'll name it right now, because these were all pre-installed apps. So it comes with, I think I even removed a few from this screen. It comes with store, people, weather, travel, music, video, messaging, maps, SkyDrive, games, camera, mail, blah 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 blah. I'm not gonna go through all of them. My favorite one of all of these apps is definitely the Internet Explorer. Actually, I take that back. Desktop and then Internet Explorer. And this is a guy, I'm a guy who hates Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer 8 all the way back was horrendous. I'm a Google Chrome user. Secondary is Firefox, then it's Safari, then it's Opera, and then finally I'll use Internet Explorer if that's my last option. But I'm one of those people who will say Internet Explorer is best used to download another browser. Internet Explorer 9, or is it 10? I don't actually know the number. But the Internet Explorer right here that comes with Windows 8 is amazing. It fits Windows 8 perfectly. Now the desktop version of it, which I'll show you guys later on as well, is horrible. Okay? It's typical for Internet Explorer. But the touch interface version is great. Now, I want to continue talking about these, but first, let's go to this Charms bar again. Now, let's go to search. Search can search through apps that are enabled for searching. They've been programmed to work. As you can see, I've downloaded a few apps like Note 8. I've downloaded from the Windows 8 store. It's a okay app. That's one more thing I just want to mention. Windows 8 store, there aren't that many developers working on it yet. If I was 18 and if I had $100 to buy the license, I would be programming and I would be making apps. You can make it in several languages: HTML5, C#, Visual Basic, stuff like that. Sadly, not Java, which is my favorite language. But that's Android's got me covered there. Now you can also search your apps, settings, and files. This is one interesting, sometimes annoying thing that they did. Is they mixed all of this, and you can't just do it all at once. You have to go to different ones, which can slow you down a little bit, but sometimes it's nicer to have this organization. So the search is great. It's a little annoying sometimes, but it's great. When you're in app, you can share something to like your Twitter, to your Facebook, Google Plus, even you can share it by emailing it to people. It's great for sharing things. Like I said, I've not used it yet. Don't really need to. I don't share that much, except directly through Twitter, but maybe I could. Maybe I could. Start button, we already did that. Devices, right now, the only thing it's showing is second screen, because I do have my secondary monitor hooked up. I keep pressing that Windows button on my keyboard. Then we've got settings. Settings is different in the start screen and in the desktop. There's more options in the desktop, and there's some options you can't see in the desktop that are on the start screen, and even in apps sometimes it's a little different. But you can change your tiles. There's a help button, which it's great that they have the help button. A lot of people will need it. I didn't ever click it, but a lot of people will. But the problem is you have to first get to the Charms bar. By the way, I never mentioned another way to get to the Charms bar. Instead of hovering your mouse in the top corner and going down to it, you can also press Windows key C, and that will open up the Charms bar, which actually, look down at the bottom left. You can also see it shows you your Wi-Fi connection. your battery, which I am plugged in right now, because I'm on a laptop, it says the time, the day of the week, and the date. It doesn't say the year, but if you don't know the year, and it's not still January 1st, catch up. It's not that hard to know. But back to that, settings, it's very nice. You can change your volume here, nice slider. You can change your screen brightness, very nice. I don't know if the screen brightness changes will actually show up in the video for you guys. I don't know if my screen recorder will catch that, but it does change as you move this up and down. It live changes. So, by the way, I'm covering up the name of my Wi-Fi in case you guys were wondering why there's that block there. Notifications, you can change stuff there. Power, you have to go to the Charms bar to access the power and shut down, restart, or put your computer to sleep. There is an on-screen keyboard if you want, and you can change PC settings. We won't be going in there today, but no, it's there. Now, next up, I want to show you guys apps, some apps here. So let's go into the store app. Alright, now it takes a little while to load the store app, especially since I haven't been on it, but okay. It comes up nice. It's still in that kind of start screen thing with all the tiles, and that's very nice. I love the interface of Windows 8. It looks amazing. Some people don't like it, but you know what? You're wrong. No, not really. Everybody has their own opinion. I just think mine is the best. So, yeah. The Twitter app is okay. I haven't used it too much. I usually just go to my web browser, or I have an iPod Touch, and the Twitter app on there is amazing, but we're not talking about iOS. We're talking about Windows 8. So, that's all great. Now, I've tried Fresh Paint, and it's great, but it's definitely meant for touchscreen again. Almost all of the apps in here are developed for Windows 8 tablets and touchscreen laptops and such. They're not really meant for people like me who still have a typical LED monitor. They're just not. But we can... Now, once you're in an app, you can just go back to the start screen however you'd like. But... Yeah, I won't go there yet. So there's the store app. It's nice. Actually, let's go back into it. Let's just go to the Twitter app, I guess, so I can show you guys this. Now, you can install paid apps. You can actually just try. It gives you a trial version. I haven't tried any paid apps yet. But as you can see, it's a very clean interface here. It actually almost looks like a website, and it's very, very nice. Anyway, so we'll get back to here. Let's go with Internet Explorer next. Comes up. I like how everything flips up with the icon there. Apparently, there were police deaths caught on tape. Okay, this is the homepage. I haven't changed it. This is the default homepage. Now, you guys might notice the screen is full screen. You don't have your tabs bar. You don't have the address bar up here to see. You can't go back and forth very easily from what you see. But if you click on an empty part of the screen, there you go. There's your tabs. You can close them. You can add a new tab. You can go to tab tools, which new and private tab and stuff. I've actually never even clicked on this before. We've got our refresh, typical, pin, which will pin it to your home screen, and will actually just be like another application, but when you click it, it'll open up Internet Explorer and send you to that website. Page tools, which find on page, view on desktop, which will send you to the desktop one. We will be doing that in a minute, but not right now. Here's your forward button, back button. And here you can type in blah 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 blah. So it's all great. You can click here, and it scrolls smoothly. This Internet Explorer is actually amazing. I love it. If I had a touch screen, this would be my primary browser. On a Windows 8 tablet, this would be my primary browser. On a laptop, though, no, I still like Chrome and Firefox. Even though Chrome is going to be going over to Blink instead of WebKit, I still love it. But that brings me to another point, and that is tabs, or task management. Now, both of these applications are still open. This one and Store. Okay, they're both still open, they're both still running. So while we might not see it, it is running. Now that's great for the desktop, because if you went back to your start screen, you don't want all your applications on your desktop to close. But if you don't know that, you're going to run down your battery life pretty quick. But you can go up to the top left corner, and there you'll see your last open thing. Drag it out. Great. You can also just keep switching through, and it'll go through for you nice and swiftly. But they're not closed. How do you close a Windows 8 app? Well, you click at the top. Again, this is meant for touchscreen, guys. And it's not that hard to use on a real laptop. I am finally speaking from experience. So, you click, drag down, and I'm not just a Windows fanboy. I'm not a Microsoft fanboy. I have Linux on this computer as well. I used to not use Linux much, but I'm using it a lot now. I really like Ubuntu. I have Ubuntu 12.04. I haven't updated to 12.10, but that's because I really don't want to have to go through the update process. It's not a big enough deal for me. So I do like Linux. I don't like Macs that much, but that's because I've never used one enough to understand the OS too well. I'm sure I'd love it if I used one. But you can, to close it, you just click from the top and drag down. Now, what if you just wanted to switch to another application without closing them? How would you have to go like this all the way through? No, you can go over to the top left corner and go down, and this will show you all of the open apps besides the one you're running, along with a button to go to the start screen. So that's nice. For tablets, you just drag from the left bezel and out to the right, and it'll come up you'll drag to the right. Your last application will come up. To open up this taskbar, you drag to the right and then back to the left a little bit, and this will come up. I have used the Surface Pro just for like 10 minutes at a store, and I liked it a lot. I understood it. Now, you can also open the tabs menu pretty easily as well. Just Alt or Windows key tab, and that'll open it up and switch between them. And then it's quick and fluid there. Everything can be keyboard input basically as well that I'm showing you. Let's go back though. I want to show one more thing. Let's drag this and move it. No, actually, here. Grab our desktop and move it over to the right. Now our desktop is taking up 1/3 of the screen. But what if we wanted the desktop to be bigger and the store to be smaller? We just drag that. Now the store app will not show you anything when it's the smaller one. Kind of annoying, but you get used to it. Internet Explorer will put it on the right, and over here you click, and there we go. It makes a condensed version of the page, so it's very nice. It's very great for multitasking. The fact that I have 2 monitors, though, it makes it a little useless to me to have this ability. But back when I didn't have my secondary monitor, this was a very nice thing. I was always multitasking with one, like Twitter or something on my left, and then my desktop on the right or something. That was very nice to have. So, apps are smooth, they open quick, but now that we've gone through most everything that can be said about the start screen and the new, what used to be called Metro interface, I think they're calling it Modern interface now, let's get to the desktop. So, it still works the same as they always used to. Recycle bin. Let's open File Explorer. Now, I'm not going to show you a million of my files, but there's this new thing called the I think it's Thread or Ribbon. It's Ribbon, and it gives you all kinds of stuff that you'd usually have to right-click to access. But it just makes life a lot quicker to just come up here and click it instead of looking through this small little right-clicking menu. It's just right here, and I think this is the best thing added to Windows 8. Right there. Well, actually, second best thing added to Windows 8 for the desktop. I love the start screen and everything there. But for the desktop, the best thing is let's just hit Control-Alt-Delete here. Task Manager. It's opening itself up right now. It's a little slow. Task Manager has always been a little slow because it's gathering so much data before it opens up to you. Especially with my screen recorder going right now. That will probably slow it down even more. Yeah, Camtasia Recorder, 32-bit, even though I have a 64-bit system. But more details. This is the best thing ever. More details. Best task manager ever made by Microsoft. It's amazing. It's quick. It's easy to use. And if you need more details, you can click more details. But it makes it less scary for people to use the task manager. It's always going to be slow for task manager, but it's still great. But the thing I really wanted to show you was Internet Explorer in the desktop. So let's go down here to the tools and click view on the desktop. Alright, so it's typical. It looks a little different than the old ones, but this is pretty familiar for the Windows or the Internet Explorer that we've all grown to know and hate, okay? It's still super slow. It still doesn't work as well as other browsers. So let's say I went to my website, allthemgames.com. It's slow, it's laggy. These buttons look much better on every other thing. It's terrible here. It makes my website look fairly terrible. Or let's go to my YouTube, www.youtube.com/user/bballer13sntv. If you guys aren't subscribed to this, go ahead, go to that link and subscribe. Here's my trailer video right now, and it looks okay, but look at this. This bevel here, well, not bevel, gradient looks terrible in this browser, but it looks great on Chrome. Now, granted, that could be because of the color of my window, but it still does not look good. I love the Internet Explorer for the touch interface, but the desktop one is not very good. So, I've talked a lot, and by a lot, I mean a lot. So, hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully now you guys can see Windows 8 is good. I just want to give a quick final opinion about Windows 8, summing everything up that I've talked about and more. And that's not really hard to do. I can say it in one word. To define Windows 8, when one word, I would use the word great. Come on, start filling up the hate comments. But Windows 8 is great, not just because it rhymes, but also because it's fast. I can boot my laptop up in less than 10 seconds, okay? That's, I'm putting the grub screen aside. If you guys know how Linux works, when you dual boot, you're given a grub screen to choose which OS to boot into, which partition. I'm putting that aside and just thinking about what would happen if the only OS you had was Windows 8. It can boot in 10 seconds. I don't have that high grade of a laptop, and I've got a lot of files, a lot of programs. It still boots up really fast. I've only had one problem with it, and that was one time when I updated it. I came back and it was broken. I lost everything and I had to reinstall Windows 8. But this was back in late December, maybe early January. I haven't had any problems with Windows 8 since. So I do love Windows 8. It's the best OS I've yet to use. Of course, not used every OS there is. I have used Chrome OS, and just a quick word on that, I liked it. But I do love Windows 8. It's very fast. It's very responsive, and once you figure it out, it's really easy. My biggest pet peeve with Windows 8 is how hard it is to figure out for people that are just the typical computer user. People that didn't do their research before they got it. People that just got their first computer and it has Windows 8. People like your grandparents or my grandparents that might have trouble with it. They're not going to, it's not much like the first, it's not like all of the Windows things we're used to. It doesn't have a start menu. It has a start screen. It doesn't have the start button. It boots into the start screen, and you can't really do much without getting to the desktop, and some people might not see the word desktop down here, and they might not find it. Now, granted, that's bad on them, not bad on us, or bad on Windows. They should be able to find it. It's not that hard, but it can be a very confusing OS to begin with. I do recommend using it if you are good with computers. If you're not, okay, if you've still been using Windows XP and you haven't upgraded to Vista or 7, hopefully you haven't upgraded to Vista. But if you haven't upgraded to Windows 7 yet, okay, you're gonna be lost because Windows 8 XP is so much different than Windows 7. Or even Windows 8, but it is different than Windows 7 as well. Windows XP is great. They've built off of it for Vista and 7 a little bit. A lot of things are the same, even in Windows 8, but it is a huge turn from there. So, sorry. My recommendation is get Windows 8 after you've watched videos on how to use it. That's the only thing. After you get used to it, it's a great OS, and I would recommend it to everybody who's good with computers and could figure it out. Alright, so now that I've talked your ears off for close to half an hour, I just want to thank you guys for watching. It's been wonderful talking about this and showing it to you. I hope you guys have had a great, I hope I helped you guys. My throat is really hurting now. Talk too much, I guess. I hope I've helped you guys decide. Maybe you're looking at Windows 8. So hopefully I've helped there. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like or dislike button corresponding to how you felt about this video. And I will catch you guys later.